Lightstone and welcome to the Suburban Driving with Miranda. As you can see, I'm here at a campsite. Behind me there's a 2021 Toyota 4Runner TRD. This is a serious off-roader. Might not be too pleasant to drive on the road, but after a few days camping in the rain, as you can see, kind of disheveled from it, we survived and the truck pulled through and did some amazing stuff in terms of cargo space, in terms of letting us pitch a tent and a tarp over it. I'm going to tell you all the good, the bad, a little bit of the ugly, and we're going to dive a bit deeper into the Toyota 4Runner for you.
So unfortunately, after camping for 3 days in the rain, I didn't spend as much time in the Toyota 4Runner as I probably would have liked to, because I would have stayed a lot drier than I did when I was out in my tent. This isn't a terribly bad place to be. It's super roomy, it's pretty comfortable, there's so much room in the back. I've got about 50 cubic foot of cargo space with the rear seats up. If I put them down, that goes to about 90 cubic feet. It's huge, and actually one of the coolest features of the Toyota 4Runner is the fact that you have an automatic rear window that can go down. So normally this is a feature that's really kind of specific to pickup trucks. They have that little third window in the back that goes across. But in the 4Runner, you can get the whole rear window down. It doesn't just go up. There's a couple of SUVs where you can manually bring the window up, but this one is automatic, so it goes into the hatch below it. This means you can carry like long pieces of wood, surfboards, poles, skis, anything that you need to stick out the back. You can, without having to leave the whole tailgate open. You can just drop the window. Super cool. Otherwise, on the inside, pretty straightforward, pretty rugged. The 4Runner hasn't changed a great deal over the years, especially when it comes to the engine, but I'm going to get to that when I talk about the drive. In terms of interior, you know, it's rugged like the car. It's meant to be washed down easily. There's not a whole lot of design in the seats. They're not bucket seats. They're not performance driven, but they're comfortable and they are practical. You have heated seats down here. I have Toyota's onboard entertainment system here, which I actually don't mind. It's very simple, and if you look at the graphics on the screen, you're gonna be like, oh, like what year are we in? But truth be told, super easy to use. I love the fact that I have all the buttons here: home, menu, audio, map. I love me a good button. I don't want to have to go through all of the touchscreen all the time. Give me a button. On the steering wheel, you have all the buttons as well to change your songs, the volume, to go through the menu that's in the gauge control. There's lane keep assist, there's laser guided cruise control. I have Bluetooth audio so I can make my phone calls. So really a modernized off-road vehicle is really what the 4Runner is. And this interior proves that. Also available in the 2020 Toyota 4Runner is a take on terrain response. Now this system will let you toggle through the different terrain settings, so based on whatever you're driving on, be that sand, be it gravel, be it rocks, be it snow, you can change up your throttle response, the way the suspension works, and really just kind of let the car drive for you in situations that you might not be equipped to deal with. In terms of things that are lacking in this interior, I just want a few more USB ports. I was really shocked to come in and find that there's one. Right down here. That's all I get. I don't have any in here. I don't have any in the back. And when we were camping, we were thinking about, okay, well, we can charge a few things in the car. Thankfully, there isn't actually a volt, a plug, a socket out the back. So out the rear hatch, lift it up, and you have a proper socket back there that you can use, which you did, to plug in a couple of little speakers and phones. But the fact that I could only charge one phone at a time, it was kind of shocking to me that a 2020 model doesn't have more USB ports. There's none hiding in the glove box. I looked. There's none in the back there. I also looked. I only get one. So that's a little bit of a pet peeve. In terms of comfort on the drive, again, I will get to that more when I'm actually driving, but sitting still, getting all of us in here, all of our camping gear, we put the seats down, they fold nice and flat. The second row actually flips up, so it creates a bit of a wall behind the front seats. And then you get a nice flat bed with very little hindrance. You've got a nice open space because it's a big square back end. You're getting all of that space as well. We had no trouble fitting all of our camping gear, all of our tarps, which were needed a lot, all of our firewood, and of course all of the cooler with the food. So we fit everything really, really well. When it comes to driving the 2020 Toyota 4Runner, this isn't the most comfortable vehicle. It is a body-on-frame chassis, so it's a truck chassis. And if any of you have ever been in a pickup truck, there's that kind of shaky, floppy feeling to it, and not in a horrible way, it's just that's how pickup trucks drive. So this is very much what the 4Runner feels like. Not that it's like uber uncomfortable, but it's not a plushy SUV because of its chassis. Also, it is heavy. I mean, you feel it in the corners, you definitely feel it when you brake, especially when it's loaded. It's just a big, I mean, I know I said the Jeep Grand Cherokee was big last week, but this takes big to another level. In terms of performance, the engine is a 4-liter V6 and it's good for 270 horsepower. Doesn't seem like a whole lot for a vehicle this size. And truthfully, like on the highway, it feels a little bit piggish. It feels a little bit like it's really wants to go. It just takes a little while to get there. You kind of got to press the throttle quite a bit, which at the same time you'll watch your gas go down. Even though I did pretty much all highway driving because of our camping excursion. I have not done a lot of city while I am back home. We made it home, yay. While I am back home now, I did almost all highway driving, and the lowest I managed to get it down to was 13.3 liters per 100 kilometers. That's not the best fuel mileage economy, but all that to say, it's a okay performing engine. I mean, for 2021, there's talk that maybe Toyota will change it and update it finally. The 4Runner is an old vehicle. I mean, old as in, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They haven't really changed it a lot over the years, and so far that's been okay for them. And, you know, 4Runner owners are loyal to this drive, to the look, to the interior, to what this car has to offer. And truthfully, I mean, even the 5-speed transmission, I don't mind it. I kind of wish it had 6 gears for those highway pushes, for those times where you feel like the car is kind of struggling to get itself up to speed. You want to have those, you want to have that extra gear. Now, in terms of the handling in this vehicle, I mean, this is by no means a performance car. You know, you got to take those corners a little bit slowly. Like I said, this is a heavy beast of a car. When you brake, you know, you're really braking. But it can tow up to 5,000 pounds, which is great. You know, this is meant to be kind of your adventure vehicle. You know, you're getting this car if you, again, have a lot of kids, have a lot of dogs, do a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of weekend adventures. And, you know, like I mentioned for the interior, that super cool rear window there, which I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see if I put it down now. That is perfect for, you know, transporting ladders, long pieces of wood, surfboards, skis, snowboards, anything straight out the back without having to lift your tailgate. But back to the drive. When it comes to other vehicles in this category, you know, on par with, for me personally, I think I would put the Jeep Wrangler up next to the 4Runner. And I really like the Wrangler. I like the Wrangler for its simplicity. I like the Wrangler for its raw kind of no frills, really just bare bones, but does the job. Whereas the 4Runner offers a little bit more of a plushy interior, a better feel on the road. Actually, the Wrangler is much more uncomfortable. But if you're buying a Wrangler, you bought into that mentality, you bought into that lifestyle, you know you're gonna be uncomfortable every single time you get behind the wheel. The 4Runner, on the other hand, you're paying for that kind of plushier interior, but you're still a little bit uncomfortable. The 4Runner offers more space than the Wrangler. I think the Wrangler has probably a better off-road ability because there's less length on it. I'm not talking about the Gladiator here, I'm talking about the regular Wrangler. But again, they're in the same category. It really just depends on how you want your interior to feel, how you want to feel sitting in the vehicle, how you want it to feel on the highway. You know, there's a lot of wind noise in this vehicle. The roof racks, the step rails on the side, the squareness of it, like it's a loud car because the wind it's just not aerodynamic at all. Driving around the city, this isn't a difficult car. I know it's big, it's wide, it's basically like a pickup truck, but I don't feel overly large. I don't feel like I don't fit on the streets or in parking lots. Plus it has a great backup camera. On the highway you've got lane keep assist and all that fancy stuff. So it doesn't feel out of place in a suburban setting. You don't just have to have this thing in the country or out in the woods. You can you can take it into town and you will be fine. It's not that big of a vehicle, despite feeling as large as it does inside. This exact model of the 4Runner starts around the $48,000 mark. Now, I've got about $7,000 worth of options on here, and that ranges from the safety features to the side steps to the roof rail. So there's a lot of different things contained in that package for $7 grand. So it brings the price of the car up to about $57,000, $58,000 with taxes and everything. So, you know, it's an investment, this car. And I think that if you are in the market for a vehicle like this, I said, you know, the Wrangler is a really good comparison to this one, but the Wrangler is so raw and simplified, whereas the 4Runner offers just that little bit more of creature comfort interior amenities. Not necessarily in the drive, but definitely inside, that the Wrangler doesn't have. Now, of course, if you really want an off-road vehicle, you can look to Land Rover for the Defender or the Discovery, but that's a whole other class of vehicle. But, you know, in terms of what this vehicle is, I really like it, and I love the exterior look. You know, it's manly. I love the blacked out TRD. I love the 4Runner, you know, how they've written it across the back. The roof rail is super cool. The side steps, not so sure those are the best things in the world for off-roading. I feel like they would catch on things just because they're so pointy and they stick out. Just a regular side rail would have sufficed, but I get what they were going for with the look. So no, I think it's super cool. It's a very niche vehicle. It is not for everybody, but the ones that I see on the road, again, it's just like a Wrangler. You're kind of buying into that that mentality and that lifestyle of owning a Toyota 4Runner. So yeah, thanks a lot for checking me out again this week, guys. Next week, I'm moving away from the SUVs and the big vehicles, and I've got something a little bit racier, shall we say. As always, if you have any questions, comments, you want to know something specific about the cars that I've driven, or you want me to try and get behind the wheel of something that you're interested in, you can always message me at Miss Miranda L on Instagram and Twitter, and Miranda Lightstone on Facebook. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you soon.